What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. So at this point, officially, cat is out of the bag. I am pregnant with baby number 2. This pregnancy has been a little bit crazy, mostly just because like our life has been totally crazy lately. I am excited to sit down and finally share about the pregnancy, how I knew I was pregnant, all those things. If you watched my pregnancy announcement, if you didn't, I will leave it one of these sides. I will link it above as well as below for you guys to watch. If you didn't watch that video, I actually took 2 pregnancy tests before I got a positive pregnancy test. I tested early because I had had a bunch of signs and symptoms that I was pregnant, and those came back negative, but I still kept taking tests because I was convinced that I was pregnant, and I was not wrong. I definitely was pregnant. Very much am pregnant. So I just wanted to explain those signs and symptoms and why I kept taking those pregnancy tests, even though I got 2 negative tests within a couple days of each other. If you're new to my channel, my name is Shanoa. I make motherhood and lifestyle videos. I have the cutest little 1-year-old named Sebastian. He is cute, but he is crazy. And I am pregnant with baby number 2 on the way. So if you are new, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe down below, give this video a thumbs up. Do it only if you like the videos. If you don't, that's cool too. But anyhow, without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so the biggest, like not the biggest, but one of the reasons that I thought that I was pregnant was because I was like extra moody. And if you know me, I am one who has a lot of emotions. In the first place, I have way more than I feel like the average person, but like it was like extra. And Ruben, like I knew that I was pregnant because I would cry at really random things, but Ruben said he knew I was pregnant because apparently my road rage like went up a notch. I did not think it was that bad, but he always brings up this one instance where I held down the horn like for like a good 30 seconds, literally, not figuratively. No, like literally I held it down for 30 seconds. But in all fairness, I think the reaction was equal to the stupidity of the drivers. Anyhow, but I was like super incredibly moody, I guess. I didn't think I was that bad, but I will say though, I wasn't terrible. I don't think. Ruben might say something different. However, I have been a lot more emotional as a whole this pregnancy than I was last pregnancy with Bash. When I was pregnant with him, I feel like I only got super emotional and moody for my 3rd trimester, like heading to the end of pregnancy. But this one, right from the get-go, this baby don't play around. So anyhow, moving on. This actually might be the biggest thing, and I know it's like a wives' tale, but it's also a really big thing in Ruben's family, is that when the baby looks between their legs, like they like are on all 4s and then they look back between their own legs, like downward dog basically. If they're doing downward dog, something like that. I don't know the yoga pose, but I'll put like a picture here so you guys can know what I'm saying. But when babies do that, it's like a wives' tale, an old wives' tale, that means that somebody is pregnant. And Bash 100% started doing that. And I was like, but I kept like kind of brushing it off because I was like, well, he's like being a lot more active, discovering his body, how it's moving, how he can like bend over and stand up and look between his legs, which was probably part of the reason. But yeah, no, it's definitely a thing in Ruben's family where if the kids look between their legs, somebody is pregnant. And the funny thing is that our niece, I swear the one that was born like right before Sebastian, was also doing that same thing. So it was definitely a sign. And actually a couple friends noticed at Sebastian's first birthday party, he kept doing it then, and I was like, someone's gonna know. And one of my friends guessed. She was like, ooh, someone's pregnant. But she didn't guess me, but I was still like, Sebastian. I guess that was after I knew though. But anyhow, he kept doing that. He was doing that for like a week or two before I took the pregnancy test and got that positive sign. So it's definitely a thing. It's not just a wives' tale, at least not in our family. Another thing was that my skin was breaking out so bad. So actually with Bash, I had really, like, that pregnancy did me so good. So I had amazing skin when I was pregnant with Bash. Like, that is the best my skin has looked since I was like Bash's age. Like, I had really good skin, but I could tell that something was off with my hormones because my skin was breaking out so bad. I usually only break out right before I get my period, but it was just so bad. I was getting like acne around my chin a little bit, but a lot on my forehead. I was breaking out like huge old pimples, multiple. I usually only get one really bad one a month, but I was getting like multiple. It was like not a fun thing. That was like one thing where I was like, okay, something is up, because this is like not happening. This is not normal. Okay, and then other kind of like pregnancy, like very typical pregnancy things was I was cramping a lot. I haven't actually since having Sebastian, like after those first couple periods, my cramps have not been that bad. I haven't ever had like terrible cramps. There are some people who like literally are incapacitated. I don't know, but they like literally cannot get out of bed because their cramps are so bad every time they have their period. My period cramps have never been like that, but they have been like really achy. But I was getting them, but like not before I was supposed to have my period. It wasn't like a pre-period thing. It wasn't just like the week before. Like a solid 2 weeks before I was supposed to start my period, I was cramping and I was having like very, like, I could tell it was my uterus, and I was like, hello, you're either coming super early and I am irregular for one of the first times in my life, or you are expanding for le baby. I don't know, but there was that. I also was like super exhausted, and not like in the morning. Like I had a really good morning routine going. I was working out regularly, all those things. Was just really tired all the time after that. Like I could take naps. I was constantly exhausted, and if you know me, like I cannot take naps like ever unless I am in my 3rd trimester or I am freshly postpartum. Naps are just not a thing for me. I have to be dead exhausted in order to get a nap. So the fact that I was tired enough to be taking naps was like, And then another one was that I was not super nauseous, but I just started to get really nauseous, and I never ever get nauseous. I never even got nauseous with Bash. So I think it was like a day or two actually before I got the positive pregnancy test. I was like, I am feeling so nauseous and I have no idea what's happening. And if I'm not, and it was like between the positive pregnancy test and all those negative pregnancy tests, it was like in those couple days right between that I was like, what is happening? I got the 2 negative pregnancy tests. I don't think I'm pregnant. I think the world is, I think the universe, God, whoever is just trying to beat into my head like, you are not pregnant. But I'm having all these pregnancy symptoms, and especially the nausea, because I do not ever get nauseous. Sus. And then another one was that my boobs were kind of sore. They weren't super sore. I actually think they were more sore when I was pregnant with Bash. Like right before I took the pregnancy test with Bash, I feel like my boobs hurt so bad with that. This time around they hurt a little bit, but what really got me was they started to leak colostrum again. And that was like, you're pregnant, because I have been dry as a bone since I stopped breastfeeding Bash. Like it was so easy to wean and to get him completely off breast milk and to stop pumping and feeding him and whatever, because I had such a low supply. I feel like I was like not even kind of full ever. I was just like the barely bit. So the fact that my boobs were leaking, I was like, that's when Ruben said he knew. He was like, as soon as your boobs started leaking, I was like, yeah, she is pregante. Okay, and then the last thing, which is also something that happened, it's a common thing to happen during pregnancy, and is something that happened to me during Sebastian's pregnancy, was I also started to get like borderline Charlie horses in the middle of the night. I got them so bad with Bash. I would wake up all the time with all these Charlie horses screaming in the middle of the night. And it hasn't really happened in a couple months, but like right around that first month of pregnancy and before I think I got my positive pregnancy test, I would wake up in the middle of the night and it was like those seconds and milliseconds right before you like go full on Charlie horse. I could feel it happening and I would wake up and like try and relax my muscles as much as possible so that I wouldn't get a freaking Charlie horse because those hurt so bad. And that was like something that was like, okay, I have not gotten one since I was pregnant. I very rarely get these, so the fact that it's happening a couple nights in a row, probably pregnant. But anyhow, so those are my pregnancy symptoms that I had. Those were all the signs that I had that I kind of referenced in my pregnancy announcement video. All those signs happened, well, not all of them, but like 90% of those signs happened before I took that first pregnancy test, and then between that pregnancy test and the positive pregnancy test, a couple more happened. So there were definitely signs that like you are pregnant, but it was just weird because I just didn't feel pregnant. Like with Bash, I knew that I was pregnant probably 3 weeks before I took a pregnancy test. I don't know what it was. It was just like mama's intuition kicked in and I knew that I was pregnant. But this time I just like, I kept trying to like, I don't know. I just kept feeling like I was talking myself into it, like I was making all these signs and these symptoms up and that there was no way that I was actually pregnant. I just kept telling myself like, you just want it so bad that you're making yourself feel this way. These are not actual things happening. It's more of like a mental thing, like you want it so bad that you're making yourself feel this way. But no, they were real and I am pregnant. So those are all my signs and symptoms that I had for my pregnancy. I don't know if anybody else has experienced anything like that where they like knew or their body was like, you are pregnant. Probably, I feel like it happens to most people. But like I said, it wasn't like I was like throwing up in the toilet every day. I know a lot of people get that, and that's obviously like you're pregnant or you have really bad food poisoning. I've never had that, so I've never been able to rely on like throwing up in the toilet to tell me if I'm pregnant. It's mostly just like all the other pregnancy signs I get. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The next video I will be talking about my first trimester of pregnancy, and things did not go as planned. I don't know how to put that, but anyhow, I will be talking about it and explaining kind of everything, explaining what I meant by just saying that and everything in the next video. So make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all the love and support that we have received over the past couple days with our pregnancy, and for our friends and family and people who knew well before we announced, because I did announce super late this year, or this time around, which I will talk about in my first trimester in the next video that's coming. But anyhow, thank you guys so much for the love, for the support, for the kind comments. I appreciate it so much, and I'm just so excited to be pregnant again and to be able to share things with you. But anyhow, we will go ahead and see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.